So, welcome to the season 2 of the You, the Future Youth podcast. This is Sushruth.
And this is Tanish.
We are here to add immense value. Let's get into it. Macklemore said music is therapy. Music moves people. It connects people in ways that no other medium can. It pulls heartstrings and it really moves people. Today, we have someone who's changed our perspective about music through his brilliant playing. He's an independent artist and much more. Let's hear about it from him. Here's Atharva Gokhale.
Hi guys, I'm Atharva Gokhale. I release music on all the streaming platforms you can think of, and I'm an independent artist at the age of 19, and I also professionally teach guitar. I'm certified from Trinity College, London, and you can check me out on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll mention it down below.
Amazing. Great. Now, also Atharva is a close and dear friend of ours, and we have been listening to his music from a very long time. And please, Atharva, would you please spell out your name with the name under which you publish the music?
I actually publish the music under the alias Atharvan, and you can check me out on Instagram as Atharvan Music.
Atharvan Music. Great. Amazing.
Great.
So let's get into this.
Yeah, okay. So, I know this is silly, but I actually want to ask you, what is music really for you? Like, is it a form of expression? Is guitar playing something which comes like from way back, or how did you start?
Actually, music is a form of expression, to be very honest, and it's in one way it is also a way of life, because whenever I take my guitar in my hand, it just takes me away from all the problems, all the bad things that happen in the day, everything that bothers me basically. And in those 2 hours that I practice or I play, I'm in the world of my own. So that's what music is to me. And as you asked, guitar actually goes way back. I decided to start learning, but then, due to my laziness, I had started after my 10th.
Okay. Great. So you started at the age of 16 and now you're 19, and in 3 years you have progressed so much that you are actually a trained instructor, right? Great. So basically I'd like to ask you the next question, which is, from when did you think of pursuing guitar playing as your profession?
Well, it actually happened a year back, actually. So as I can think of, you guys follow me on Instagram, so I used to post covers, and I still do post covers. So a year back I learned about all the equipment that there is in guitar, and then thought of like I can do my own compositions. I can collab with other people, and then there's gigs and there's shows and forming bands basically. Well, I'm not so much of a people person as you call it. So I'm more happy as a solo artist right now, and I'm basically a freelancer. So that's how I started thinking of pursuing guitar as my profession, but I still haven't completely gone into it. I've just recently started releasing music, but
you'll get into it soon.
Yeah, I hope to get into it soon.
Right. Okay. So I would like to ask you about your feeling when you released your first song.
Man, I was frightened as fuck. It's funny because whenever you release something of your own, the first thing that comes to mind about, how will people pursue it, or how will people judge you on the basis of how good is your content, right? So because now you guys are all about it. You guys know how the numbers game works.
Right.
So exactly. So I never release my music for streams or anything. I release it for my happiness. And so there's one part of it that's like I don't care what people think. I'm gonna release my music. And another part is people will think that why is he releasing music so early, because he's been learning only for 3 years. So that's the feeling. And then Sky happened, my first song. You can go check it out on Spotify and Google Play and all that fancy stuff. And that was the feeling basically, and it was great, but it was not great at all. So
but how did you feel when you overcome the fear? Like, how do you overcome the complete thing, and what was your state of mind then?
So when Sky released, I was not expecting it to do as well as it did. It was my first composition, right? So I was not expecting it to do as good as it did. So Sky just a day before 11 p.m. night, I get a mail from my distributor that Sky has released on Spotify. So the next day I wake up, I get 30 notifications saying, half of them are DMs, there are mentions, and then there's people texting me from all over that great job, my dude. Then Sky is awesome and stuff like that. And that's how I overcame my fear like that, because you get all the appreciation and then it just fades away.
Vanishes.
Yeah, yeah. Like we recently said this. I guess it's said by Tony. Like we recently mentioned this. It's said by Tony Robbins. I guess that when you trade your expectations for appreciation, your whole life changes. Yeah.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
But
So I just want to ask you that like you do what you love, right? Like there's this thing which says that when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life,
right.
right? But how do you maintain your focus?
There's when I started learning guitar back in the day, in the first one, my teacher said that you just leave guitar, you won't be able to proceed or progress further, because at
Okay.
that time I was, yeah, exactly. I wasn't able to focus on anything. I like my dad took me to the guitar place where I learn right now, and
Okay.
he was, well, I'm a lazy person, I'll tell you, because I wanted to learn guitar, but my dad just fed me with the spoon that, okay, here's all the stuff you need, now start learning. So in the first month, I go to my class and there's this teacher. He's the best person I've met yet. So he says you won't be able to learn further because you're not practicing enough. And then what happens is I start practicing after the first month, because he discouraged me completely. So I just took the motivation, I start practicing. And then, like you asked, how do you maintain the focus? I always have that in the back of my mind, because you never know well, in the future who can discourage you or not. So you have to take that kind of motivation, keep it in the back, and then continue practicing. That's how I maintain my focus.
Right. Great. Amazing. Okay, so I'd like to ask you about the challenges that you faced. Like when you actually decided that you are going to pursue music as your career, like did any of the Indian stereotypical career ideas kick in?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So about my educational qualification, I'm currently second year product design at Vishwakarma
Okay.
University, Pune. And you can make two mistakes in India to get into the world of stereotypical Indian career guides. You can be good at science, you can be good at maths, and your life is over.
Oh,
You either go to engineering or you go to the medical field, which are,
right.
well, there's a boom of it in India, and it's just too saturated. And so, music has been in India again, but what you mostly hear is classical music, right? Every classical music, and then there's pop music. I'm not going to go too much detail, but then the challenges that I faced is, well, when I was about to post, when I was writing music, there's people coming to me, no, change this piece, this is wrong, or you can add this to make your music better, or you can do this, you can do that. Some of it, the advice was correct, the other bullshit. Like, it's my music, I can decide what I want to do with it, right? So these are the basic challenges. Then there's like, this isn't the age, first get a degree, then start making your music, because this won't get you as much money. Like, महीने का घर नहीं चलेगा इससे, ऐसा, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but what do you have to say about constructive criticism? How do you take criticism constructively?
Constructive criticism, well, it depends really, because one, it should be of use to me, because well, I have received a lot of criticism and it has been useful to me. So that's really how I progressed in 3 years this much. So what happens is, when I get constructive criticism, I first decide that how I am going to use it, because there's like, in music there's infinite ways to use criticism, as I
Right.
from my experience. So
Yeah.
that's how I take it. And again, criticism doesn't really, well, matter too much, because half of them are hypocrites. So
Yeah, but one thing which I like, when we met, we talked about this. which is like, I believe in this, a lot of people do as well, is I believe that you can turn your inner turmoil into product, right?
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
yeah, like, and you told me this, that you too do it. So, like, what message can you give to people who are actually going through something? Like, I usually tell that if you're going through something, you can actually utilize it and utilize the emotions that you're feeling into something creative, because, like, we always say that emotion is the ultimate resource, right?
Right.
If you get the right
Absolutely.
emotions, you can do anything. But
Absolutely.
how do you manage to turn your turmoil into product?
It's to be very philosophical. Again, when I take my guitar in my hand, always, almost every time, it's your mind controlling your fingers. So it's like your emotion is happy, you'll play happy music. Your emotion is sad, automatically your fingers will move in such a way that the music will turn out sad. So that's one kind of thing, and the other is turning the inner turmoil into product. Is whenever I'm feeling down or low, one thing you can do is just if you're a guy like me, I'll just take my guitar, play whatever for long amounts of time, and it gives me ideas for future projects, and then I can expand them. So that becomes my product.
Yeah, yeah, because we've been through this a lot. Because, like, for personally, personally, whenever I, like, was in a bad or not a good state, I was constantly, like, I had this bunch of emotions which were so so powerful, but I
Right.
learned to channelize them into whatever I was doing.
I don't know.
So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it is about, right? Learning to
yeah.
channel your emotions into the product you want it to be.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't do anything about the situation, but you have to
Correct.
do something with yourself. So, like, you just take those emotions and you channelize them into something which is very productive, and it helps
Correct.
you in your work. It's really,
See,
really
that's
powerful.
not yeah, exactly. So that's what the problem is right nowadays, because people our age, they are just like sitting on their phones scrolling through Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
sad. I'm
Yeah,
talking. Like
yeah, it always happens. Yeah.
that's not how it works. Like if you're just scrolling through Instagram looking for sympathy, that's not how it will work. You have to do something else, because if you do something else, you're good at it. It will automatically, well, emotions will always give you product. That's what I believe, and I will keep
Yeah,
believing.
yeah.
Great. So you talked about, doing something you're good at. So what do you have to say about, pursuing your passion as your career?
Um, you know, well, music is a big risk in India, because it's not like I can just keep releasing my music, and that will just like feed me money, which I can use for my own life.
Mhm.
So doing the career is almost impossible unless you can get a good band. You can go for gigs. You have to,
But
well,
you know what? Like, every field has this risk.
right.
It's just that you don't see it. Like,
No, that,
getting a job is as risky because you don't know when you can get fired. But just
oh no,
because you
absolutely.
know the risk, right? Right.
No,
Yeah,
what you're saying is correct, but there's a in your job, at least you don't have this stupid politics, which I'm
hmm.
not going to speak of right now. But in music field, it's like, well, you're a guitar player, fine. Go in the background, you can play as a background player. So that's not what I want to do. I want to see. There's the music industry, which is corrupted. I don't like it at all. And then there's the private industry, which only we guitar players run. And there's a whole big community of it all over the world. So in here, I feel really safe in here, because I'm doing my gigs. I have my band. I'm getting money from it. And as long as I can continue to do this, this is my career. So there's a, well, what you can call it, it's a stable job to be in. If you can if you can
Right.
if you can manage to be booked for a complete month, you will have enough money. You can save enough, you can invest it, you can do whatever. But
Right.
again, the the problem in India is the parents are well, they have their opinion, and they are almost right about it, because they say get a degree and then you can pursue the music. But that's not how it will work. Once you get a degree, once you get a job, and you're working a 9 to 5 job, once you're home, you won't feel like playing music because you just want to rest from the day's
Right.
tiredness. And then here comes the problem. I play guitar because well, music is my way of life, and I'm at a point where I can't live without music. But take an example, another kid who's just learning to, well, he is pursuing his career. He has the same circumstances as me. He's as good as me. But his parents are saying get a degree. And he accepts, he gets a degree and he wants to play. He will never feel like playing because it's just not his way of life. That's
Right.
what
So
matters.
what do you have to say about, getting out of the 9 to 5 rat race?
Well, I'm blessed actually, to be honest, because in my field you don't have to work a 9 to 5 job. Every assignment comes at your well, it comes on the PC and you have to do it, and you basically have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you can to complete it. So at least I have some time to focus on music, and I can release my content in between. So it's like parallelly I'm doing two things, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's stable.
yeah. So one thing like I really liked about like when we used to like when we talked last, we shared this report with our common usage of social media.
Right.
Like, yeah, so we have a different perspective about social media than rest of the people. We use it not for the numbers, we use it for actually connecting. So like my question
Right.
to you is this, like, how important do you think is social media? Like, what is your perspective on the utilization of social media?
And also, how has it helped you to actually, gain the audience
Momentum,
and
yeah.
build the audience?
Right. Actually, social media is actually quite useful if you use it that way. As I would, for example, you guys do, or for example, I do, because I don't want to post on anything, but on my music account, you will find nothing but music because
Right.
that's what the account is for. Or you can take other people who flex their father's money. Hey, I bought this. Hey, I bought that. Hey, I bought this bike. Hey, I bought this car. Or hey, I got something today that is well, expensive and stuff. Whatever. So there are social media is divided in two categories, in my opinion. First
Okay.
category is the snowflakes who take
First,
every. The first category is
First,
snowflakes
snowflakes.
snowflakes. Okay.
who take everything personally, who can't digest one bit or one sentence of constructive criticism or criticism in general, who are weak-minded, exactly, to be honest. And you try to motivate these people, they'll backfire on you because no, it's my life, I want to live it my way instead of doing the right thing and living. Second category is us, who just use social media for our benefit. And and it's like we post good quality content. We don't care about the numbers, we don't care about what people will think about it. So that's where we come in. And again, the first category I hate with all my mind because it's just well ridiculous. Because have you ever thought of
Exactly.
something like, no, have you ever thought of something like if social, for example, or Tanish, both of you, if I were to give you criticism, would you take it as a motivation or would you take it as a discouragement?
Motivation.
Motivation. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what the category is about, right? That's what I'm trying to prove since last 6 months.
Right.
Because
Right.
on my yeah, exactly. On my view, I have met a lot of people in my life who are well can't count it 20, and they are most of the times they are just caring about hey, I lost a follower, hey, I lost a follower, and that's not how it's supposed to work. If you're
Right.
doing something other than that, you post content, you get some. I mean, you live your life basically. Don't just be stuck in
Yeah.
the.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, actually, social media was built for people to connect, but it is actually making people distant again. And the problem is
Exactly.
that a lot of times it is actually replacing knowledge with ego,
Correct. So
where
yeah,
it is
exactly.
supposed to do it, where it is supposed to work the other way around.
That's what I was saying, right? So Sushru, you last time we talked, it was you who told me because you made your account public, right?
Yes.
And then there was this guy who unfollowed you, and then you asked him why did you unfollow me? Hey, my account is public, so that's why. That's where the problem lies, right? Because then you lose a follower, and their ego just inflates like anything. Because then
Right.
That's how it works nowadays.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
my
Because
followers are more
there's one thing.
than
Because like about that incident, I was like, I made my account public because I wanted to share my content, and like
right.
uh, I received a lot of messages. I believe that what I post is quality content. Okay, I believe that, and what
No,
happens?
no, it's
I am adding value to someone. That's why I made my profile public. Okay, because I want to add value, right?
right.
But if they're so fixated on the numbers that, oh shit, I get my following will increase by one, my his account is public, I can check it out anytime and everything. What's that? How do you even think like that? Like, you're my friend, still you do this because you want to showcase, I don't know who, that you follow less people, and that somehow makes you cool.
Exactly.
How?
Right. So
How?
that's what I was saying, right? So there's this guy who's well, his followers are more than his following. So he's the well, basically what do you call it, cool person of the group, right? And then there's another dude who's posting content and he's wasting his life. How is that even? Well, how does that even make sense? So that's what my problem is with social media
Yeah, yeah,
because
and
I'm a,
like most of the times what happens is that somehow the like all the majority of the time, like not now fortunately, but a lot of people create scenes on social media just to gain attention while they're not going through anything. That,
right.
yeah, and that actually eludes the other people from, like, who actually need attention. It gets the attention away from them.
Right. So that's what it is, right? Well, someone is actually feeling sad or someone is actually feeling down, and then we are like, no, he's just doing it for sympathy. Well, that
Yeah.
might not be the big time.
Yeah, and this impacts, like that actually gets us to another question. Like, it contributes a lot towards our mental health and everything, social media. And since we actually get in on mental health a lot, like like we talk
We
about that.
ask,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talk a lot about this,
yeah.
and we ask this question to everyone who is an invite, who is a guest to this podcast. And the question is, what is your perspective about mental health and how important do you think it is?
Uh, Again, for my field now, you guys know what kind of music I post. I post
Right.
mostly metal
Metal
music.
music.
Right. So, in our community, in the metal community, once you enter the metal community, you're seen as a mentally strong person because there's a lot of content here that most people don't like. There's you can find slurs that are offensive. You can find every sort of content which you just get used to once you are in this community. And then mental health is again. So once you're a part of my community, you'll always have people cussing at you. You'll always have people discouraging you. You'll always have people shouting and screaming at you. How like everything like that. And if you're talking about me alone, I play music, so I don't really care about anything else. As I said in the intro, I'm in a world of my own when I play my music, and then so it doesn't affect my mind in any way. Like anything external can't affect me.
Yeah, we always do
Amazing.
this. Yeah.
So basically, with this complete thing, I would also like to ask you this question that you right now talked a lot about being in your own world. So basically, it is a lot about enjoying your work, and we
Right.
we observe it a lot around that people do not enjoy their work. They are just chasing the result.
Correct.
And what do you think about actually loving your work and focusing on the process and not the result?
Yeah, exactly. So result is one part. The process is another part. Now the process is actually the process of reaching the result, right?
Right.
So the thing is, like you said, people do not enjoy their work. Now it can be uh, for example, take a football player. He wants to reach the level of accomplished football player, and he starts practicing the skills every day. But somehow he's not enjoying the practice. He will never reach it. Take an engineer. He's planning to sit for an exam, an external exam, and he's practicing his skills on the paper, but he's not enjoying it. He will never reach the level. Same goes for music. You want to reach higher levels of guitar, and you're not enjoying your current practice. You will never reach the level. So that's what it is about. Enjoying the process. You enjoy the process, you will not even have a glimpse of what lies ahead. You enjoy the process, you'll automatically reach the result, and you won't even notice it
The state of
because you've
flow, right?
already correct. Because you start enjoying, you may have even surpassed your results. That's what it is about.
Yeah.
Enjoying the process in general.
Yeah, and like majority of the people, like they focus, like when we have also talked about this. It's like majority of people focus on how instead of why. Like
Correct.
if you're doing something and your why is clear, like why you want to do it, and
Correct.
you don't know how to get the how, but your why is very clear. The how gets there. You just
Right.
have to
Correct.
clear out why and what. Asking the correct questions is what starts you in the first thing. Yeah. So don't ask how, ask why.
Correct.
Yeah, and then you'll actually do it. Yeah. Also, there's one more question for you. Like, it's how, but like, which was the song which you had most fun making?
I've actually released only 2 songs currently. Well, namely Lights Out and Sky. Sky was the first one, Lights Out was followed by that. And those two were actually, and a little insight on what they were. Sky was actually made in about a span of 1 month, which is, and Lights Out was made in 10 days. So I have actually 5 more songs ready to go. Just I have to do something about it. So that's some mastering and mixing. So that's the thing. There's another song coming called Crestfallen Path. The song's name is Crestfallen Path. I'm currently working on its cover art. So a little insight on that as well. That was the song I had the most fun making. There's a lot of reasons to it. First thing was I was feeling down. So there's my inner turmoil in the song. And
Right.
to be honest, the song is very depressing to be, as a matter of fact. And towards the end, it goes towards a happy ending, the song itself. And then there's vocals in the song. The first song that will actually feature vocals. So
Oh,
that's why, and it will come soon enough. I'm still working on the final solo of it, and a bit of mastering and mixing is remaining. That's it. And then again, my inner turmoil, complete inner turmoil. That the song is product of that, right?
Right.
So I've been working on this song before Sky. So it's almost been like 8 months that I've been working on
Oh
this
my
oh
song.
my
God.
God.
And I have like every piece of it is a product of my inner turmoil. Every single piece that you can think of. So
We're
that
so
will probably
excited.
be my,
Yeah.
We are so looking forward to this song, man.
Yeah.
that's it, right? So and then something happens. 8 months I'm working on that song. 6 months I get another setback in life, and I feel everything is over. I isolate myself for about a day or two. Think of what I can do. Pick up my guitar, start writing this song, and I had completed half of the song in 4 months, and the other half was remaining. So this half I'm writing right now. So that's
Like, like, and like again, enjoying the process. Uh, yeah, and when most people see adversity, it's in us to see opportunity. Like
right.
we go through a lot of stuff while most people go berserk about it and they try to gain sympathy and everything. It's people like you who actually get it out of themselves by getting into something productive and much bigger than yourself. Yeah. It's all about contribution. It's all about giving back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so which brings us to like one of the ultimate questions, which is, what is your message to the youth?
My message to the current youth will be, well, it's difficult actually to give a message to them because I'm working with a music community right now. It's not a music community; it's a community in general. It's called Sangam. You can check them out on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's the people in the community. They are brilliant. I mean, they are just amazing at what they do. You know, and it's like uh, that those are the kind of people that I see as my ideals or as my motivation, because I see them and I feel like enjoying my process, or because most of them are younger than me. So there's 2-3 years younger, and they are living life better than I am currently. So that's how I feel motivated, and that will be my message. Observe, observe everyone, observe everything you can, observe every person, every animal. Everything will teach you values, and everything will shape you into a good person. That will be my message to you.
Yeah, also the last question is, how important do you think is company? How important is it to have good friends?
Companies, every person is just by a circle. There's a saying. So
Yeah.
that's why, right. So my circle is actually pretty well. It's pretty damn good. They're everything. They are good psychiatrists. They are good guide. They are good philosophers. Everything. You know, you guys are a part of my circle as well, right? So you
Right.
know how our people are. They will, well, if even if it's bad, they will encourage that. Okay, change this. You can do this at least. Okay, do
Come
this.
what may, they will always support you.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. No matter
And
what,
we
they
will
will
also
always
always support you.
Yeah.
So that's it, right? So when you started You the Future, when you conducted the
Yeah.
first seminar, every one of our circle was there to give you confidence, and
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We remember.
Yeah.
they were promoting your seminar on Instagram, on Facebook. Everything was going on. So that's
Yeah.
what matters. You're doing something your friends
Right.
support.
Yeah.
Right. Supporting, you know what, your support, the support that we gained from the circle, the support that we gained from everyone around is what actually pushed us here, and this is the position that we created because of you guys.
Yeah.
We just want to say that we are very grateful for you guys, and this is also to the audio listener about this complete thing, who is watching, who is listening. We are very grateful for you because you have created us. This is not about us. You the Future is about you. And company is always very important, because company is what shapes you. Your friends shape you, because if I would have not met him, then You the Future would have never like existed, because this is what we friends do together. And think what you and your friends should be doing together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people actually began their big businesses with their friends. Like Steve Jobs started his business with his
Jack Ma.
friends. Jack Ma started his business with 16 of his friends. I don't remember. Wait, Bill Gates started with his friends. Then Sergey Brin and Larry Page. These are the Stanford PhD students. These guys started Google, and a lot of small startups which ultimately end up being very huge are started by friends. So we promote and provoke all of you to actually start doing something with your friends.
Yeah. And if your friends are constantly like gossiping or are talking about some other people, you need to rethink
About your company.
Exactly. You need to see that your friends match your thoughts. Yeah, you need to have friends who have similar minds.
Because whether you accept it or not, you are like them.
Yeah.
You are one of them, and you are the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this was great. Here we must conclude the episode because of the time limit. Thank you so much, Atharva, for joining in today. This is You the Future. Check out his Instagram profile at Athogen Music, and check out our Instagram page at YouTheFuture.in. And thank you so much for joining in today. This is season 2 of the You the Future podcast, and we are having a lot of exciting stuff coming up soon. So just stay tuned. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.